I welcome you all in the next topic of the microbiology, that is a factor affecting disinfectants. So I request you to watch all the previous video and then start this video. Only then you will be able to know why we are doing this topic, because this is from the unit number 3. Okay, so I request you again to watch all the videos and then watch this video. There is a factor affecting disinfectant action. So let's start without wasting any time. So let's start. First is the concentration, then the time of contact, temperature is there, type, number and condition of the organism present, and the presence of organic matter and other inactivator, and the last, surface tension and the pH, of course. So these are some of the factors that will affect the disinfectant action. So let's start. Concentration. Now this is very simple. How concentration will affect? We need to prepare a disinfectant in such concentration that it will exert the bactericidal action. If we prepare, say 1% is required and we are preparing 0.1%, ultimately 0.1% is not the efficacious enough. It will not kill all the bacteria or the microorganisms. So it is expected that a concentrated disinfectant should act rapidly while the diluted one will take more time. So always special care should be taken while handling these type of disinfectants because they are corrosive. However, the effectiveness is generally depend upon the concentration exponentially, and there is optimum concentration for each and every disinfectant as per pharmacopoeia. So for example, at about 1%, and beyond this concentration, the disinfecting effectiveness become increasingly less. So we will not go beyond this. This is example for phenol. So always remember one thing: when you suppose you purchase a disinfectant from a market and you will have to sanitize your room. So what you will do, first of all, you will see its label, how much concentration of the disinfectant are mentioned in the particular label. Only then you will prepare a particular dilution, then you will use. You do not go to the market and directly use. Suppose now we are using sulfuric acid in the laboratory, but we are also using sulfuric acid in the diluted form. So some of the procedure, they require sulfuric acid in the diluted form. Okay, 1% is required, 2% is required, 20% is required, etc., etc. And beyond this, you must see the actual strength of that sulfuric acid also, how much pure it is. And nowadays you are using sanitizer, always see in the label what is the exact percentage of the ethanol present in the sanitizer, of the ethanol, not the methanol. It is 70%, whether it can 70% ethanol or 75% ethanol or 60% ethanol. Okay, suppose you have to prepare the sanitizer in the laboratory, and in the lab generally we have 100% ethanol present. So what we will do, we will just dilute it at a particular concentration and we will use the formulation. Next is the time of contact. Yes, sufficient time of contact must be allowed for the disinfectant to exert its action. So disinfectant can be treated as a first order reaction. So please go by the topic of different rate of reaction. So this is the first order. Okay, I am not explaining the what is first order. It is a first order reaction, and the effect of temperature on the bactericidal activity may be expressed by temperature coefficient, which is represented by this formula. Where it is? That is denoted by temperature coefficient, this T2 minus T1, T1 upon T2. Where T1 is the extinction time, it is nothing but is the time at which the disinfectant show its effect. Let's see the type, the number and the condition of the organism present. Suppose if in a particular formulation, particular article that you need to be disinfect, it contain high amount of the microorganism, then ultimately whether you require high concentration of disinfectant or you will increase the contact time. So it will depend upon the different conditions. So let's start. In general, disinfectants and antiseptics, they may have greater effect on the gram-positive bacteria. Okay, but the endospores of bacteria, the cyst of the protozoa, they are highly resistant to disinfectant antiseptic, and also some viruses. So special care should be taken while handling or while using the disinfectant, because suppose you are using a disinfectant and the organism that is resistant to that particular disinfectant, so you either you have to change the disinfectant or you will increase the concentration, etc., depending upon the condition. So next is the presence of organic matter and other inactivators. So always remember this thing: whenever the organic matter is present in a particular article or a particular material that you need to be sterilized, the effect of the disinfectant, it will reduce. Just see, the presence of organic matter may reduce the effect of disinfectant by either absorbing or inactivating it. Okay, so what they will do, the extraneous matter, the extra matter, they may form a protective coat around the cell, and it will prevent the penetration of the disinfectant to the site of action. So suppose this is a microorganism and this is a disinfectant that you have to apply it over microorganisms, and due to presence of some organic matter or the extraneous matter, what it will form, it will form a coat over your microorganism. Thus it will inhibit the penetration, it will inhibit its penetration into the microorganism. So in this way it will work. Next, the pH range. We know the bacterial growth optimum pH range is 6 to 8, and the growth decline outside this range. So the change in the pH during the disinfectant process, it will greatly affect the rate of the growth of the inoculum, or you can say the potency of your disinfectant, and the ability of the disinfectant to combine with the cell on the cell surface. So pH is again a crucial factor. Next is the surface tension. So again, important factor. The contact between the aqueous solution of the disinfectants, it is facilitated if they have surfactant properties also. So if you have a detergent, or you can say surfactant properties, this will helps in the adsorption of the surfactant disinfectants on the surfaces of cells, as well as in wetting and spreading properties of the solution. So you will need the surfactant type of disinfectant that will aid in their efficiency. Say, just like different type of disinfectants like phenol. So phenol and related compound, they have lower surface tension. So what will we do? We will add a soap in the phenol. That is the carboxylic, that is the carbolic acid, basically carbolic acid. This is structure. Just see this, carbolic acid. So thus the combination of the soap plus phenol, that is the carbolic acid, it become excellent disinfecting power. Just like Lysol. Lysol is very, very famous. So Lysol contains cresol plus soap. So thus see the structure of cresol. This is meta and this is the para cresol. So this is Lysol. So I hope this is clear to you, and I acknowledge Dr. N.K. Jain sir for this book, that is the pharmaceutical microbiology. We have prepared our notes from his book. So I once again acknowledge all the resources that we have used in preparation of this video. So this is acknowledgement. Do not share these resources. Do not share this video on any platform. I acknowledge all the sources like OER, YouTube, SlideShare, Google Images, etc. for preparation of this video. See you in the next lecture.